Oh my God, look at the artwork. Imperial Hotel. Oh, this is from Anthony Burgess again. Well, here we have a little memorabilia from days of old. Here's New York film critics present this award to Stanley Kubrick. Well, actually, I was at this award in New York. I forgot what restaurant it was in. I went there with Anthony Burgess, the author of the novel, A Clockwork Orange, and an extraordinary man he was. I spent a week with him in New York, doing all the press and going to the David Frost show and that show and whatever. And we did it together, but I actually was pretty silent and just watched this man and listened to him because he was one of the great raconteurs I'd ever heard. He got up at the New York's film critics before them all to accept, as he said, "I've been sent here by Stanley Kubrick to pick up this award." Here's a letter from Ted Ashley, who ran Warner Brothers in 1971. Oh, I remember all the top brass of Warner Brothers coming supposedly to the set, and I remember driving back with Stanley from the location in the evening after a long slog, and we drove into the gates of his compound, his house, and there were 3 Rolls Royces parked there with chauffeurs, and he goes, "Oh God, I forgot. I got the guys from Warner Brothers here, shit." So we got out of the car, walked in, and this John Calley, Ted Ashley, and I think Frank Wells were sitting there waiting for him, obviously for hours. And Stanley came and he went, "Hi guys, this is Malcolm McDowell, he's the star of the movie. Look, we gotta go look at dailies. Why don't you guys order some Chinese takeaway? And by the time we get our dailies, you can't come in and see them, by the way. Then we can all have a little dinner." And so, I mean, Chinese takeaway, this is in Borehamwood Wood. It was dog food. You wouldn't even give it to a dog. And they're the head brass of Warner Brothers eating this crap. And Stanley was literally just trying to get rid of them. So this is a letter from Ted saying how much he enjoyed the visit. Yeah, I don't think. Here's a certificate for an Oscar nomination. Amazingly, Stanley Kubrick, one of the most iconic directors of all time, never won. Neither did Alfred Hitchcock. Strange. Of course, he wasn't a Hollywood insider. And even though they, of course, would say, that doesn't matter, we're completely impartial. Nuts, is what I say. Kubrick should have won a clutch of Oscars. 2001 is a masterpiece. Dr. Strangelove is a masterpiece. Clockwork Orange, I needn't say because I don't want to be unbiased, but he made some of the great movies of his era. He was a brilliant, brilliant director because he took on every genre and made the best movie in that genre. So you couldn't really go into a Kubrick movie and go, oh yeah, that, like you could with John Ford. John Ford, The Sweep of the Western, or whatever it was, The Prairies, you knew it was a John Ford movie. But with Stanley, I mean, from Paths of Glory to Lolita, I mean, what an incredible difference in style and everything else. And then to Barry Lyndon, The Shining. I mean, it's an amazing oeuvre, as they say. Oh my God. Well, these are all fun stuff. This was trying to find the costume. Now, the white stuff, as you can see here, actually, this was out of the back of my car. I had a bag of cricket gear, and the protector, this codpiece thing, it's supposed to be worn under the pants when you play cricket. And Stanley goes, no, put it on over, that's perfect. It looks medieval, like a codpiece. Of course, he was right, it's great. Let's see. Oh, that's funny. Well, then Stanley must have been thinking of changing the title, how nuts is that now, to the Ludovico treatment. I don't think it has a little catchy phrase to it, does it? I'm in a movie, Ludovico treatment. Or I'm in a movie, Clockwork Orange. Now that's a catchy title. What does it mean? Actually, I did ask Burgess, where did it come from? He said he heard it in a pub in the East End of London when one of the working guys came, and he goes, yeah, he's as queer as a Clockwork Orange. So I don't know what it means. Well, here's an interesting photograph. This is called a lid lock. It's used in delicate eye operations, and of course should be used with the patient lying on his back. Now, as we know, if you've seen the film, I actually had to have these ghastly instruments of medieval torture inserted into my glasses when I was sitting up watching videos. Stanley actually showed me the picture of this, and I looked at it and goes, oh yeah, that's pretty grisly. He was, no, do you think you could do that? And I went, absolutely not, no. I said, why don't we get, my stand-in? He's got blue eyes. He goes, Malcolm, I can't do that. He goes, no, we have got a doctor from Moorfields Eye Hospital who assures me that everything will be perfectly fine. It's no big deal. He'll just anesthetize your eye. We'll stick the lid locks in, and in 10 minutes, we'll do the shot. 10 minutes for a Stanley Kubrick shot? I don't think so. Obviously, the doctor was quite a nice young guy who, but it's the National Health Service in England. This is the way they test the anesthetic. Gets a handkerchief and goes, pokes it in my eye and goes, can you feel this? Ah! Oh, it's not ready yet, Stanley. Can you feel this? We're ready to shoot. Anyway, they stuck these awful things in my eyes, and Stanley came down and said, listen, Doc, just say a line like, how are you feeling today, little Alex? So this doctor, who is not an actor, of course, now is being given a line of dialogue in a major movie with a major director. And what he had to do in the scene was to make sure that my corneas didn't dry up. So he had to insert eye drops into my eyes every 15 seconds or so to keep them moist, because if they dry up, you're blind. So of course I'm counting, off on my hands the seconds, because I don't believe that this guy, because he's so into the part with his damn line, and he keeps saying to me, what's your name again? I'm going, little Alex. Listen, Doc, don't worry about the line, just say anything, it doesn't matter. Anyway, he was so freaked out by his line, and which freaked me out because I didn't want to go blind. And anyway, he managed to get the drops in. So everything was fine. We got the scene. It was harrowing, but quite extraordinary, and the whole thing. And on the way home, the anesthetic wore off. And I went over a pothole, I remember, in the car, and it felt like I'd had a razor blade sliced right down the whole of my body. Stop it, please, I beg you! And literally, I've never felt pain like it. It was so intense and so all-consuming that my doctor had to come over. He lived around the corner, thank God. He had to come over and give me a shot of morphine. In a roundabout way, I've been living off the sort of residuals of Clockwork Orange, metaphorically. It's an iconic film, and really, how many of those do you make in your career? If you get one, you're very lucky.